Chosen one, your obedience didn't go unnoticed in the heavenly realms. While others questioned your choices, while they called your faith foolish, heaven was recording every moment you chose to trust God over your own understanding. Stop reading this casually and listen carefully. You didn't stumble upon this message. Your spirit led you here because there's something urgent you need to understand. What happens when God sees a heart that truly surrenders? What unfolds when heaven witnesses genuine obedience in a generation that mostly follows their own will? If you dismiss what's coming next, you'll miss the divine momentum that's already building around your life. This isn't motivation or inspiration. This is a prophetic interruption designed to prepare you for what God is orchestrating behind the scenes. You are not here by accident. What's ahead in this message will reveal the exact reward heaven has been preparing for your faithfulness. But first, here's what most people don't understand about divine timing. God doesn't just see your obedience, He strategically positions breakthrough around it. Your surrender wasn't just noticed, it was catalogued, and now the return is coming. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why every act of faith you've demonstrated has been building toward this moment. The seasons of waiting, the moments of doubt you pushed through, the times you obeyed when it made no sense, all of it was preparing you for what's about to unfold. But here's the first truth that will shift everything. Your obedience created a spiritual momentum that can't be stopped. Heaven doesn't just reward faithfulness, it accelerates everything around the faithful. The very atmosphere around your life is charged differently now because of your choices. This word isn't just timely, it's the key to understanding why everything had to happen exactly as it did. Hit the like button to declare, "I'm ready to receive this divine message." It takes just a second, but helps spread this word to thousands of other chosen ones who need it right now. Comment 777 if you're declaring today as the day you step into divine abundance, favor, and breakthrough. What's on your heart today? Leave your prayer request in the comments and then take a moment to lift someone else up with words of encouragement. When you share your prayer, others will intercede for you. When you pray for someone else, God moves in ways you never imagined. And to all our channel members, thank you for your continued support and faith. May God return it to you in peace, provision, and divine favor. Oh, my dear friend, can you feel it? That deep, persistent ache, a quiet, almost vibrational hum that settles not just in your chest, but deep within the very bones of your spirit. It's that profound sensation, isn't it? Almost like a heavy, smooth stone resting right there, beneath the surface of your heart. It's the constant, relentless tug of war that pulls at the fabric of your soul, stretching it thin between two powerful forces. On one side, there's the fervent, aching hope, that burning desire for something beautiful, something so magnificent and deeply personal that you've dreamed of it, prayed over it, nurtured it in the quiet chambers of your mind for what feels like an eternity. And then, almost immediately, as if on cue, there's that insidious, creeping wave of totally crippling uncertainty, that gnawing, relentless doubt that whispers its toxic questions into the tender parts of your being. Questions like, will this ever truly, actually happen? Is it real? Am I foolish for believing? It can feel so profoundly isolating, so utterly defeating, as if you're slowly, helplessly sinking in a spiritual quicksand, with every effort to pull yourself free only seeming to drag you deeper into the mire of despair. You might even find yourself silently, desperately asking, has God forgotten me? Is this a punishment? Am I stuck in some kind of spiritual purgatory destined to simply wait indefinitely? But I'm here right now to tell you, with every fiber of my being, with the full conviction of a truth that has resonated deep within my own journey, that this sensation, this very tension you're feeling, this internal wrestling match, is not, I repeat, not a sign that things are delayed in a negative way. It is not evidence that you're stuck, or that you've been forgotten, or that your prayers have fallen on deaf ears. Not at all, my precious friend. Believe it or not, that very internal pressure, that weight that settles over you, that profound sense of stretching and waiting, is actually the most profound, undeniable evidence you could ever ask for. It's the proof, written invisibly upon the canvas of your spirit, that God, in His infinite wisdom, in His boundless, overwhelming love, and in His perfect, unwavering timing, is not ignoring you. Quite the opposite. He is in the very middle of a heavenly drafting process for your life, meticulously sketching out the exquisite details of your future. A future far more glorious than you can currently perceive. This isn't a delay. It's a divine design. It's not an absence. It's an active, engaged presence, crafting your next season with breathtaking precision. Think of it, if you will, like a master architect, not just any architect who sketches a simple building, but one who designs entire, breathtaking skylines, one whose vision extends beyond a single structure to an integrated, awe-inspiring urban masterpiece. This isn't a hasty sketch on the back of a napkin overnight, is it? No, their hands move with deliberate precision, their minds consumed by a grand, all-encompassing vision that sees beyond the present moment. They consider every single detail, every sweeping angle that will catch the morning light, every foundational beam that will bear immense weight, every hidden conduit and support, ensuring the structural integrity is absolutely rock solid, utterly unshakable, before a single brick is ever laid, before the first steel girder reaches for the sky in daring aspiration. They envision the final masterpiece, not just its form, but its function, the way the light will play upon its surfaces, the lives it will impact, the hope it will inspire. They see the grand unveiling, the gasp of wonder, even as they are still perfecting the hidden blueprints. That, my friend, is precisely what God is doing for you right now, in this very moment of tension and anticipation. He is deeply, intricately involved in the process of creating something truly amazing, something that will not only stand the test of time, but will also bear eloquent witness to His glory, a testament to His faithfulness that will echo through the generations. And sometimes this period of divine preparation feels a bit heavy, a little intense, and yes, profoundly uncomfortable, precisely because it is such a detailed, profound, and utterly important work. It's not a superficial fix or a quick patch. It's a foundational, life-altering creation. It's the beautiful, sometimes overwhelming weight of the immense potential He's carefully building within you. The gravity of a future so grand, so expansive, so deeply purposed that it requires the deepest of roots, forged not in the easy sunlit moments, but in quiet, unseen, often challenging seasons. This isn't a burden meant to break you, to crush your spirit into despair. No, it is a shaping pressure, a refining process designed to polish and refine you into the magnificent masterpiece He intends you to be. A vessel capable of carrying the abundant blessings He is preparing. Just as a tiny seed, pregnant with the promise of a mighty tree, pushes through the formidable resistance of the soil, knowing instinctively that the life-giving light awaits its emergence, so too are you being prepared, silently and powerfully, for your grand unveiling, for the moment you will burst forth into the fullness of His design. And here, perhaps, is the most breathtaking, most heart-stirring part of this divine unfolding, this intricate dance between heaven and earth. Even as you're navigating these challenging feelings, even as you wrestle with the twin giants of hope and doubt, God is actively, supernaturally, and with unfathomable precision pulling together all those little, seemingly insignificant threads you thought were long forgotten, perhaps even discarded. Do you remember that conversation you had years ago, don't you? The one that seemed to lead nowhere, a conversational dead end that left you feeling unheard, dismissed, or perhaps even foolish for daring to share the vulnerable longings of your heart? Or that opportunity that glimmered brightly on the horizon, looking like an open door, brimming with the promise of future possibilities, only to be slammed shut right in your face, leaving you reeling in disappointment, with the bitter taste of what might have been. Maybe it was a particular skill, a gift, a talent you spent countless hours developing, honing with dedication and passion, pouring your very essence into its mastery, only to find yourself in a season where you never seemed to use it, where it gathered dust in the attic of your soul. Or a kind word you spoke to a stranger, a gentle gesture of compassion extended without expectation, a selfless act that seemed to simply disappear into the ether, unacknowledged, unappreciated, leaving no visible trace of its impact. My friend, God is taking all those seemingly random, disconnected pieces. Every single tear you've shed in private moments of solitude, every quiet prayer you've whispered in the hushed darkness of your bedroom, every act of selfless service rendered without the expectation of recognition, every sacrifice made with a willing heart, even when it went unseen by human eyes. And He is meticulously weaving them, stitch by painstaking stitch, into something cohesive, something powerful, and something utterly beautiful for your future. This isn't just a collection of memories, it's a divine tapestry, each thread contributing to a larger, more glorious design. Every single yes you've whispered to God in secret, every courageous choice you made to trust Him, even when it defied all human logic and didn't make an ounce of sense to anyone else around you, every step taken in obedience when you felt vulnerable and exposed. Those profound moments are not lost in the winds of time. Oh no, they are echoing, reverberating with immense power in places human eyes can't even begin to see, in realms far beyond our earthly perception, where the very fabric of spiritual reality is shaped. They're not lost. They are like spiritual magnets, invisibly drawing and binding divine favor, supernatural provision, unexpected open doors, and serendipitous connections to your path in ways you could never, ever orchestrate on your own. No matter how hard you tried, how many elaborate plans you meticulously made, or how much you strived in your own limited strength and understanding, you could not create this intricate, sacred tapestry. It's a divine choreography, a cosmic dance led by the hand of the master choreographer, the God who sees and knows all. And you, my precious friend, are not just an observer, passively watching the unfolding. No, you are a key, cherished, and integral part of it all, a vital participant in this grand, unfolding drama. Each thread of your life, each experience, each moment of faith is being placed with exquisite purpose, each color chosen with divine intention, creating a masterpiece that will soon be revealed in its breathtaking entirety. Nothing, absolutely nothing, you have offered in faith, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, has been wasted in the economy of heaven. Every single surrender, every single act of trust is stored as a precious commodity, ready to be unleashed at the appointed time. Have you noticed, as of late, that the old ways of doing things, the comfortable routines that once felt like a warm, familiar blanket wrapping you in security and ease, even some of the relationships that brought you a sense of steady comfort, are starting to feel uncomfortable, like clothes that no longer quite fit your expanding spirit, or a beloved room that suddenly feels too small, too confining for the vastness of your soul, that what used to bring you a sense of satisfaction, a feeling of contentment, now just leaves you with a persistent, gnawing restlessness, a deep, unquenchable hunger for something more, something profoundly different, something that speaks to the deeper currents stirring within you. There is a very good reason for that. And I promise you, with every ounce of sincerity, it is not a punishment designed to inflict pain. It is not a sign of your failing or an indictment of your past choices, as your mind might try to convince you. No, my friend, heaven is actually stirring up that profound discomfort, not to make your life harder or to torment you with unease, but to lovingly yet firmly propel you forward into the vastness of your next season, into the expansive territory of your divine destiny. Imagine, if you will, the caterpillar inside its chrysalis. It has to become utterly, profoundly uncomfortable with its old form, with the skin it once inhabited, with the way it moved, its slow, crawling pace, and the way it ate. It has to undergo a complete and radical metamorphosis, a profound breaking down of what was, an internal liquefaction, to emerge as the magnificent winged butterfly it was always destined to be, soaring freely in the sky. That feeling of restlessness, that gentle nudge, or sometimes even a powerful, undeniable push, that sense of being stretched and pulled beyond your familiar boundaries, is God's divine way of getting you ready for what's next, for the glorious transformation that awaits you. Divine momentum, you see, doesn't allow for complacency. It won't permit you to stay stagnant, stuck in a comfortable but limited space when He has so much more for you, when His plans for you are so much grander, so much more expansive than your current comfort zone. It's because breakthrough, the truly significant, life-altering kind that reshapes your world and expands your capacity, almost always feels a bit awkward, a little disorienting, and profoundly uncomfortable on its way in. It's pushing against old boundaries, challenging your deeply ingrained comfort zones, and stretching you into vast, uncharted new territory that initially feels unfamiliar and even a little scary. This discomfort is not a sign of distress or regression. It is the vital sign of profound growth, the breaking of spiritual ground for a new, abundant harvest. It's the beautiful, sometimes painful growing pains of a soul expanding to embrace a destiny far greater than it could have ever imagined. Behold, He says, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth, do you not perceive it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Isaiah 43:19. This stirring is the very breath of new life, moving you from what was to what will be, a divine current carrying you into your next chapter. And let's talk for a moment openly and honestly about those people who may have doubted you, perhaps even ridiculed your unwavering faith. The ones who looked at your quiet conviction, your steadfast hope, and perhaps even called it foolishness to your face or whispered their dismissive comments behind your back. I know truly how much that can sting, how deeply those words can wound the tender parts of your heart. It's an intensely painful experience when your deepest vision, your very calling, the path you feel God has set before you, feels misunderstood, ridiculed, or outright dismissed by the very people you might have wanted support and affirmation from, the ones you expected to be your champions. It can leave a deep wound, a pervasive sense of isolation that makes you question everything you thought you knew, everything you dared to believe. But for a second, let's shift our gaze to an ancient story, a profound narrative woven into the very fabric of our faith, the story of Noah. The world literally, unequivocally scoffed at him, mocked him with derisive laughter. He was out there on dry ground, in a time when rain was an unknown phenomenon, a concept utterly foreign to their understanding, hammering away at an enormous, seemingly absurd ark. He was building something that no one else in their wildest imagination could comprehend, let alone believe in. Everyone, from his closest neighbors to complete strangers, thought he was absolutely crazy, a deluded old man chasing a phantom. Yet, his diligent, unwavering obedience, that seemingly ridiculous act of preparation in the face of universal scorn, became his family's survival, a refuge of life, a sanctuary of hope, long before a single drop of rain ever fell from the sky. His trust in God was the only thing that mattered, the only compass he needed to navigate the storm of public opinion, not the fickle, fleeting, and ultimately foolish opinion of the crowd. He was building by faith, believing in the unseen, clinging to a promise no one else could perceive, and that, my friend, is exactly what you have been doing. So please, I implore you, with every ounce of spiritual encouragement I can muster, don't let the ridicule, the subtle side glances, the dismissive comments, or the outright skeptical remarks of others make you question that deep, quiet, sacred whisper God placed in your spirit, that divine blueprint etched upon your soul. That whisper is a precious deposit, a divine blueprint uniquely given to you, not for public approval, but for divine fulfillment. You weren't building for human applause, were you? You weren't striving to get likes or comments or external validation from people who could never truly understand the depth of your calling. No, you were building something far more profound, something destined for a miracle, a divine intervention, an unveiling that no one else, save for God and you, would see coming. You've been laying foundations in seasons of profound isolation, in those quiet, often lonely moments where it felt like you were doing all the heavy lifting, all the unseen, uncelebrated, often thankless work by yourself. These were not wasted seasons, my friend, but sacred crucibles where your character was forged under intense heat, your resolve strengthened like tempered steel, and your roots deepened into the very heart of God, anchoring you in His unshakable truth. But hear this truth, whispered gently from heaven. God's plan in its perfect timing is to unveil you. His intention is to bring all that hidden faithfulness, all that quiet, steadfast perseverance, all that unseen labor into a season of public fulfillment and abundant blessing. Just like a beautiful, intricate masterpiece, meticulously crafted and hidden away in an artist's private studio for years, known only to the creator and perhaps a few trusted confidants, it will eventually be revealed, brought into the light for all to behold, and celebrated for all its breathtaking beauty and the profound story it tells. Your season of obscurity is giving way to a season of revelation, a glorious blossoming in due time. You know, some of the greatest, most transformative breakthroughs in our lives actually come not when we frantically search for all the answers, tearing ourselves apart in the process, exhausting our minds and spirits in a desperate scramble, but when we learn to simply sit with revelation. It's like the profound difference between digging tirelessly, frantically, for a small, elusive trickle of water in a parched desert, exhausting yourself with every swing of the pickaxe, every futile scoop of dry earth, and simply being still enough, quiet enough, receptive enough to let the abundant, life-giving rain fall from the heavens and fill your cistern to overflowing with ease and grace. So often, we're so busy striving, pushing, and trying to figure everything out on our own, meticulously planning every step, crafting every contingency, that we entirely miss the profound, spirit-led truths God is trying to drop directly into our spirits. Truths that are so much simpler, so much more powerful than anything we could devise. We just need to quiet ourselves, to open our hearts in a posture of humble reception, like cupped hands waiting for a refreshing drink, and allow His infinite wisdom, His gentle counsel, to settle deep within us, like a calm, refreshing dew on a thirsty morning. If that resonates with you today, if you feel that deep, unquenchable hunger for a deeper understanding, a clearer spiritual sight, a fresh perspective that transcends your current challenges, then I genuinely believe the 10 hidden truths of Jesus' parables is your next step, your next quiet invitation to a deeper wellspring of wisdom. It's a short, concise, but incredibly powerful ebook that helps to unlock practical, spirit-led truths that can directly impact areas of your life that might feel stagnant or challenged. It can bring profound clarity to your finances, deep and lasting healing to your body and mind, and give you incredible emotional clarity that brings a deep, abiding peace to your soul. It's truly eye-opening, a gentle guide to seeing the world through heaven's lens, a lamp unto your feet in dimly lit paths. The link for it is right there in the first comment below this video, but just a loving heads up, it's only going to be available for a limited time. So if you feel that gentle tug on your spirit, that quiet, unmistakable prompting, go ahead and grab it. Let revelation come and settle in your soul, nourishing it with divine truth. Now let's gently bring our focus back to what God is doing in your life right now, in this very moment, in the crucible of your present experience. You are being refined, my dear friend. You are being purified, not because you are flawed beyond measure or inherently unworthy, but because the blessing that is coming your way, the magnificent inheritance being prepared for you, the destiny that is unfolding, is honestly so much bigger, so much grander and more magnificent than any of the battles or trials that tried so hard to break you, to diminish your spirit, or to steal your hope. Think of it like precious metal, perhaps gold or silver, being heated to extreme temperatures in a refiner's furnace. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? It's intensely hot, a searing, sometimes painful process, but it's precisely how all the impurities, the dross, the elements that diminish its true value are burned away, leaving behind something incredibly valuable, something utterly pure and immensely strong, able to withstand the test of time and pressure. That, my friend, is exactly what's happening in you. The master refiner watches over you with unwavering love and meticulous care, ensuring the heat is just right, never too much to destroy, always with a profound redemptive purpose. He is forming something exquisite within you. And through all of this, step by deliberate step, invisible progress has been taking root, sprouting in silence like the deep, unseen, foundational growth of a giant, ancient oak tree. We see the mighty branches reaching towards the sky, the expansive canopy offering shade and beauty, but rarely do we consider the quiet, determined, powerful expansion of its roots beneath the earth, anchoring it firmly against all storms. Each time you humbly laid your own plans down at his feet, each time you whispered with sincerity, with a surrendered heart, "God, not my will, but yours be done," heaven marked it. It was recorded as a profound moment of trust, a sacred agreement, a deepening of your spiritual foundation, an act of faith that moves mountains. That kind of trust, that surrendered, vulnerable faith, is more powerful, more potent, and more valuable than any natural resource on this planet. It's spiritual gold, a currency of the kingdom that transcends earthly value, and it is about to yield supernatural results in your life. Results that defy human logic, results that speak eloquently of divine intervention, results that will make all the waiting, all the stretching, all the refining profoundly worthwhile. This isn't just growth. It's an expansion of your capacity to receive the good things God has prepared for you, a widening of your spirit to hold the immensity of His blessing. God saw every single time you sowed seeds of obedience, every single selfless act, every moment of choosing Him, even when you did it with tears in your eyes, sacrificing what felt safe and secure, letting go of what was comfortable, because you simply believed Him and His promises, even when they seemed far off. He saw it all, my friend. Not a single tear was wasted in the vast ocean of His compassion. Not a single act of faith went unnoticed in the detailed annals of heaven. And now, the season is truly, undeniably shifting. You might start noticing the first subtle signs, small things that seem insignificant, almost too minor to mention in the grand scheme of things. A gentle shift in the air around you, a whisper of peace settling over your heart where anxiety once reigned, an unexpected opportunity appearing on your radar, a flicker of hope where there was once only a barren landscape. But please, I urge you, don't despise those small beginnings. Don't dismiss them as unimportant, as mere coincidences, or as not enough to make a difference. Remember the powerful ancient story of Elijah's servant. Elijah, a man deeply connected to God, told him to go look toward the sea for rain, to watch for a sign. And 7 times, with diligent obedience, the servant went. 7 times he looked, and 7 times he saw absolutely nothing but the vast, empty expanse of the sea and the sky, an unbroken horizon. But on the 7th time, with persistent, unwavering obedience, he finally saw it, a tiny cloud, no bigger than a man's hand, rising out of the sea. It wasn't the size of that small sign that was important, but the certainty of God's promise that it represented. a promise that ultimately changed Israel's entire future, bringing forth a torrential downpour of rain after a devastating years-long drought. Don't miss your small cloud, my friend. Be watchful, be discerning, for the greatest blessings often begin with the most humble, subtle signs. Your obedience, even when you feel weak, even when you feel totally depleted, as if you have nothing left to give, still holds immense, immeasurable power in the spiritual realm, power to shift atmospheres and move mountains. God isn't looking for flawless execution from you. He doesn't need you to be perfect or to perform perfectly, striving for some impossible standard. He knows your limitations, your struggles, your human frailty, your tendency to falter. What he truly honors, what truly moves the heart of God, is a yielded, surrendered heart, a heart that continually chooses him, that leans into his faithfulness, even in the midst of its brokenness, its imperfections, and its deepest uncertainties. Think about Joseph, whose story is so powerfully woven into the fabric of our faith, a testament to divine sovereignty. His unwavering, quiet obedience, his unshakable trust, kept him grounded and upright, whether he was unjustly thrown into a dark, forgotten prison cell or suddenly placed in a palace of immense power, second only to Pharaoh himself. His incredible story, the full scope of his journey from pit to palace, was catalogued and meticulously written in heaven's eternal record books long before his brothers ever bowed before him in tearful reunion. Those long, painful years of waiting, of betrayal, of injustice, they weren't wasted time. Not a single moment was squandered. They were absolutely vital arenas where his favor was fortified, his humility was forged under immense pressure, and his character was anchored deep into the unshakable truth of God's faithfulness, preparing him for the weighty responsibility of saving nations. God is doing the very same thing in you right now, taking your private faithfulness, those unseen acts of devotion and obedience, and turning them into public favor, a visible testimony of his goodness and redemptive power. He is taking what tried so hard to bury you, what sought to destroy your spirit and your hope, and transforming it into the very rich soil where your promotion, your healing, and your unprecedented growth will flourish, blooming with unexpected beauty. The grave meant for you is becoming a garden of blessing, cultivated by the hand of God. And here's something else that's incredibly important to realize, a truth that expands the scope and significance of your journey. There are people connected to your obedience. Your journey isn't just about you, as individual and personal as it feels sometimes. Every single time you pushed through discouragement, every time you chose to believe God, to trust him when it was undeniably hard, when every fiber of your being wanted to give up and retreat, you were actually carving a path. You were forging a way, softening the ground, making the road a little clearer, a little less daunting for those who are coming up behind you. For those who are too afraid to believe that their own quiet faithfulness truly matters, that their small, whispered acts of trust are actually seen and honored by heaven. Your story, your profound resilience, your eventual breakthrough is not just for your benefit. It is living proof, a tangible beacon of hope, a powerful testimony that God's rewards aren't always instant gratification, a quick fix to our human impatience, but they are always inevitable. His promises are true. They are yea and amen, meaning yes, and it is so, and they will never ever return to him void or unfulfilled. You are becoming a trailblazer, a testament to God's faithfulness for generations to come, a living example of his unchanging character. This very moment, the ground you're standing on, even if it feels ordinary, even if it seems mundane or uninspired, or simply a place of waiting, is holy ground. Just as Moses encountered God at the burning bush in the wilderness, recognizing the sacredness of the moment and removing his sandals, Exodus 3:5, so too is God present with you now, in the midst of your reality, imbuing your present circumstances with his divine presence. Don't fall into the subtle yet dangerous trap of measuring the movement of God by your fluctuating emotions or by what things look like on the surface. Our feelings, as human and valid as they are, can be so incredibly deceptive, guiding us astray with their ever-changing currents, like a ship tossed on stormy seas. And appearances, they can be profoundly deceiving, masking the powerful, unseen work that God is doing beneath the surface, preparing a harvest you cannot yet see. Heaven's record books, the ones that truly matter, are thicker, far more comprehensive and overflowing with accounts of your obedience, your unwavering faithfulness, your steadfast perseverance, than they are with any of the world's transient accounts of your setbacks, your struggles, or your perceived failures. God's perspective is the only one that truly counts, the only one that measures the true value of your journey. That promotion you've been waiting for, the one that seems to linger just out of reach, like a shimmering mirage on the horizon. That restoration in a broken relationship that weighs heavily on your heart, a constant ache you carry, that reconciliation you long for with every fiber of your being. It's not delayed, my friend. It's actually being distinguished. God isn't slow in his workings. He's incredibly precise, a divine artist painting with infinite care. He doesn't waste a single surrendered moment. Instead, he takes those moments, those acts of trust, those quiet sacrifices, and multiplies them exponentially, turning them into something far greater, far more glorious, and profoundly impactful than you could ever possibly imagine in your wildest dreams. He is preparing not just the blessing itself, but you for the blessing, ensuring both are ready for the appointed time, perfectly aligned for the divine unveiling. Where you might have felt overlooked, ignored, or utterly invisible in the past, please know with every fiber of your being that God's eyes have always remained steadfastly on you, watching over you with an unwavering, eternal gaze. He knows every hair on your head, every beat of your heart, every longing of your soul, every unspoken prayer. Where you might have felt completely underqualified, perhaps even undeserving of such grace and favor, God is about to use you as a shining trophy of his incredible grace, a living testament to his redemptive power. In rooms and places where you once thought you didn't belong, places you never imagined stepping foot in, among people you never dreamed you'd influence, you are being prepared for influence, for impact, for a divine assignment that only you, with your unique story and surrendered heart, can fulfill. So, keep moving forward, my precious friend. Even if all you can muster up the strength to do right now is simply stand firm, to hold your ground in faith, to refuse to yield to the pressure to give up, then stand. This is truly the tipping point for you, the moment of shift, the culmination of all the unseen work, the quiet preparation, the diligent refining. And it's not happening because you strived harder, pushed yourself to the brink of exhaustion, or forced outcomes through sheer willpower. It's happening because surrender in God's powerful, loving hands actually carries more divine force, more unstoppable momentum than any amount of human striving ever will. It is in the beautiful, vulnerable act of letting go, of yielding your will to his perfect will, that his boundless, magnificent power truly flows through you, unhindered and glorious, transforming everything in its path. If this message, this word spoken from my heart to yours, is speaking directly to your spirit today, if it has touched a chord deep within your soul, I encourage you to let it settle deep inside you, like a precious, fertile seed planted in rich, good soil. Give it time to take root, to draw nourishment from the depths of your being, to germinate and to grow into a mighty tree of truth within your soul, bearing fruit of peace and confidence. And before you go, please consider sharing this video with someone you know who truly, deeply needs to hear this today. Someone who needs to be reminded that their faithfulness, their quiet perseverance, their unseen tears, and their steadfast hope have not gone unnoticed by heaven. Let us spread this hope, this truth, this divine encouragement far and wide, lighting up the darkness for those who feel lost. And tonight, Before you close your eyes and drift off into the stillness of sleep, I want you to pray this prayer with boldness, with unwavering conviction, and with your whole heart. Say it out loud, letting the words resonate in your spirit and in the very atmosphere around you, reclaiming the truth of your destiny. God, I wholeheartedly receive everything you have been storing up for me, every blessing, every promise, every divine appointment. I declare right now, in this moment, that the season of hidden obedience in my life is turning into seasons of revealed blessing, of public favor, of abundant manifestation. I won't shrink back from my next step, no matter how big or small it seems, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, because I know, Lord, that you are the faithful rewarder of those who diligently seek you. You see all, you know all, and you are always good, always faithful to your word. Remain expectant, my dear friend. Hold on to that hope with both hands and your whole heart, for it is the anchor of your soul. Divine momentum is already in motion, actively, powerfully, and precisely working on your behalf. Amen.